Walking patterns, a key fundamental of training that most people generally miss. Adding a tool such as the Mace into it can magnify the benefits that we experience and that we can generate within ourselves and our clients. Using the Mace, we are adding the element of leverage to some different exercises. What this will do is a few things. One, it'll create an element of instability that we have to learn to stabilize against dynamically. And what we mean by that is that you are not just standing still, you are learning how to produce and reduce force but stabilize throughout that entire movement rather than just standing still. This aligns a little bit more towards the way people move in their daily routines. What else it will teach the body is ground force reaction. It will also teach us proprioception, which is the understanding of how our body is moving in space. So as we take a step, the body sends signals from our feet to our brain, and then our brain to our feet, telling us when we should stabilize and when we should activate certain muscles to create or to resist movement. So what exercises we're going to view here are the grave digger and the 360. There are plenty more that we can add in here, but we're going to show a couple of different ones and highlight the benefits of walking patterns and what they will do for human body and function. But it is important to note that you must master how to use these tools and these exercises from a standing still position. If you cannot control your body and the tool in a standing still position, do not attempt to add walking patterns to the exercises just yet. It's for your own health and safety that you learn how to control the way any tool moves in a traditional sense. While walking patterns give a lot of benefit towards functional capacity, it can also lead to injury if done incorrectly. So don't rush getting into these. Work your way towards it. Trust the process and move your way from the traditional movements and work your way up. So the first exercise we're going to take a look at is the walking grave digger. We're going to set up with our right hand at the bottom of the handle and the left hand at the top or the middle part of the handle, depending on how much resistance you want to feel. Your left leg will be forward and your right leg will be a normal step distance back. Both feet will be placed under your hips. Hinge over at the hips with a nice flat back. Now, as you drive forward with your hips to stand up tall, step your right leg, being the rear leg, forward one normal pace step distance so it is in front of the left. As you come up, bring the mace up with you to an overhead position and it'll be horizontal and parallel with the ground with your left arm fully extended. As you bring it back down, step forward with the left leg and hinge at the hips to absorb the momentum of the mace coming back down to that return position. And you repeat this going forward and back as many steps as you wish to do. Now what we're looking at here is contralateral movement. So in this first instance, we have the object on the opposing side of the body to where we're moving to. This will create the most amount of stability throughout these movements because you're going to be balanced. So you're going to have one leg forward opposing to where the resistance is on the body. And this is a great way to start out learning how to integrate walking patterns to your exercises. This also aligns a lot more to the way humans move. We move as a contralateral being. So when our right leg goes forward, our left arm should go forward. And when our left leg goes forward, our right arm should go forward. Now this doesn't mean you have to stick to this style of movement. We can do it as ipsilateral movement too. So as we drive forward this time, our left leg will come forward and our left arm will be fully extended again overhead with the mace. So now the resistance is on the same side as the lead leg. Now, this is where it's going to really highlight the ability of your intrinsic stabilizers in your trunk to keep your body upright and tall without it laterally bending or falling over to the side. This will also help to improve balance without the need of super unstable training, which unstable training all has its place, but that's for another day. It's going to also help with the body learning how to produce and reduce force in a horizontal force vector rather than just vertically as well. So you're going to understand how to produce and reduce force across multiple vectors here, because your feet will be making you propel forward while you're also lifting an object up. So now the body has to focus on multiple things. Now, outside of this, it's also going to teach coordination. So here you're going to start giving people an understanding how to coordinate their body and help it to move together in unison or opposing each other. Our next exercise we're going to take a look at is the 360 with a walk. We're going to utilize the same technique on our 360 that was taught earlier on in the mini course. But now, as you toss the mace over your shoulder, you're going to take one short step forward. As you tug it over the shoulder to finish off the 360, you're going to take another short step forward. So with your step pattern, it's going to be 1 foot in front of the other. What I find is a great way to start out is to shorten this down a little bit, and so it's 2 short steps. So as you throw the mace over the shoulder, you move your feet quickly and in short steps, focusing on a couple of inches at a time. So they will always be in a side-by-side stance by the time you finish your rep with your 360, rather than in a split staggered stance. Keep up tall and upright throughout the movement. Don't flex at your hips either forward or back, and try not to bend laterally from side to side. Remember to breathe. The big key thing here is as you toss the mace over the shoulder, draw your breath in, helping to ribcage to elevate and expand. And this will also draw your stomach in, helping to activate your trunk muscles to keep you a lot more stable throughout the movement. And as you tug the mace over the shoulder, breathe out, so it also helps to create that intra-abdominal pressure to balance the mace at the finish of each rep. Big key element with all these walking patterns: controlled steps. Bigger is not always better. Find a good rhythm. Trying to rush and move fast is only going to end in disaster for you. Less is more. So what we mean here is, don't try and do 1,001 reps first up. Focus on quality. Stick to good, executed reps to reap the benefits of what they will do. Find a good pace and rhythm. So you're not aiming to try and go blisteringly fast. You're trying to control the movement with even more intention than the traditional versions of them.